Okay, so I'll finally give away what MBA stands for. I know I've been trying to beat you guys around for a long time about this. I wanted someone to come up with it. You had it, it's in front of you. A few of you told me where to look. A few of you called me dumbasses, everything else. But MBA just stands for monolithic. It's monolithic, which means they pour the column and the beam at the same time. It's a monolithic pour. That's all it is. That's all an MBA is. It's a monolithic pour. So now let's tie this monolithic pour all the way over to the collapsed structure of the puncturing happening now. What do you get? I'm only going to give you teasers. I want to see the comments. I want to see you nail this in the comments. So this means that this is tied in. As you see in the parking garage structures, you're looking at them. I've seen a few people do analysis, but they obviously don't have field experience. This is a monolithic pour, guys. It's a beam, monolithic. All right? And the columns and the beam are poured together. So when we get post-tension, I don't want to give away that yet. When we get the failure over here, and any of these failures here, we're getting pulling. Remember the people that walked out and saw the vehicle, the car, that my man who sees the vehicles go down, he's only right here. His property's right here. The vehicles are parked right about here where the planters are. Visually, he sees the car's elevation change more in height than he does see the deck. You know, they're going to capture your eye more. But I believe that the crack is still down here. Right down here, I believe, is where you get your moment, your reactions. Right down here, the failure in the center area, the cars dropping equally, causing the failure. You have beams here. You have one beam here that I've been holding out on for a while. Let's see if it's here. Oops. Let's see if we can find it here. Oh, there's plenty of cross steel here. You know, plenty of cross steel in two directions here. Right up here, look at it. There's plenty of cross steel. Right here at the bottom of the page, plenty of cross steel. So plenty of cross steel right there. This is what I said. It seemed like a different builder at one point, and it turned out to be a different builder, but because it seems like there's no steel down below. Interesting. Once that surface layer is off, my gosh, look what's appeared. I don't think this was just due to collapse. I think this mapping might have been something that was covered. This is just me speculating. But that's one hell of a... Because I've broken up many buildings. And as you can see, okay, there we go. You see in here, you see the crack. And you see a flat deck in here. Out here, we see this great, huge mapping of the concrete. So it stands to reason those overhangs are really interesting, to say the least. I'm trying to see where this video goes. Okay, let's see if we can go to. That didn't help me. All right, let's go back to the plans now. Monolithic. It's poured together. You get the collapse here. So I want to give a teaser now. In the plans, it does speak of post-tensioning. It does speak of post-tensioning, not pre-tensioning. It speaks of post-tensioning. Can we find the post-tensioning? These are the structural plans we're looking at right here. There's a monolithic beam here. There's a monolithic beam here. They're here. They're here. Interesting. This is what we see on the ground over here is the parking garage. These guys are together. They are just listed as MB 33, 35, and 34 respectively per my pointing. They're on the ground together, but that was a secondary collapse structure. Are they in relationship to where well, we don't know because they demoed so much and moved things around. They could have shifted that. But that was where the outside building was. If we look at MB33 and you look at the videos, a previous video I did maybe two, 3 videos back, That's the line of the structure, which actually puts it around in that structure. Here's M, my bias. I will shift my bias over to MBA, BMA here. So now we get the lady sitting in her apartment, and she says that she feels the floor, or heard the ceiling. Doesn't matter. When this starts tugging and pulling down, it tugs. It tugs on the BMA here, right? It tugs on this column. So that gets you your wall, your separation above. Can someone verify 611 is somewhere about, well, this is 111, right? So it's above here. She has separation in a wall. Can someone verify, Tom, you said that she had about 2 fingers in the wall, you informed me, that she could guesstimate. Was this the column wall that she had about 2 fingers? If so, then we now know our point, our origin, K, of the wall pulling out. The video shows this one pretty much buckling first, and it goes down like this. But we have a direct one-to-one tugging on this column, and that would be K, a direct tugging. Here is the apartment layout. Let's see if I can go over one. Okay, that didn't help me. Over again. Okay, that was back to 8-7. Oh, I think I have to go forward in this one. So here's the BMA right here. And we have, scroll up rather. We have these different scale columns. Let's see, where is the apartment layout? It was, I know I pissed off some of the people doing this, but sorry, it's my method. The floors are different. We already went over that. You know what? You got to watch the series. If you're just jumping in here and want to start commenting on this one video, just go. Yes, it's a long series, but I can't jump. And the way I like performing or presenting is I like giving a lot of background data and bring people right up to where you need to go. I just can't say, hey, let's go right to the doctorate's course, if you will, and say, okay, now hand me your thesis. You're like, wait a minute, you didn't teach me first. Well, I think you have the data now that you understand how tugging happens now. I did that in the video a long time ago, saying, look, this is just a deck ledger collapse. That was the short version, and now the long version, I get us there. Here the parking, as it says right here. Here's the people's home, I believe, right here. Here's our direct right here. This column would be the K if it shows here. This time they call it G, but the row rather. So the alignment here. And there's C. Oh yeah, they changed the names to C, A, apartments. It's weird as shit. All right. Don't get upset with me when I look over to the right and look at the date. Don't start trying to think you're gonna. These are what are presented. So don't try to outdo me with saying that you're looking at the wrong plans. These are the plans presented to us by the municipality. So if I'm looking at the wrong plans because the municipality wanted me to look at the wrong plans, isn't it? So again, here's our one-to-one direct. There's a step down, there's a porch, there's a step up. I think it's a ramp now, no longer a step up. Here's your parking. It's the roof view. So the roof view, landscape. Okay, that's landscape. So it doesn't have to have the other details, just a sort of general idea. Let's do 3-4. I love that 34 for some reason. I keep biasly coming back to it. I should go to 29. 34 is my beam schedule. So there's your 33, etc. Now I'll tie this in back to the video. We can go back in the garage if we like to drive around and look at the ceiling. You guys can do that. But it's kind of academic at this point because we know that our witness now makes it clear that the cars, and he showed the butterfly effect even, of the cars going in. We have him at the location where he could observe it. He talks about the deck going in also. Again, it probably almost simultaneously, but the cars would appear to be disappearing more aggressively to him, I would think, because your elevation, your depth would show the cars moving apparently. I trolled you on a lot of people on this one on the columns. Nobody jumped on that. It's a slab opening. It says it right there. Nobody called me out on it. These are just openings. They could be for the drainage. I wanted someone to call me out on that. Apparently, I couldn't get that. These are your monolithic pores. This is, I think, about the lower level. But these are your monolithic pores. It doesn't say BMA on this one, does it? No. But they're the monolithic pores. I want you to still find me the post-tension trick. There's a jacuzzi in this one. So people say that they didn't have a jacuzzi there. Well, there they are right there, 11/27/79. Updated August 20th, 79. There's your damn jacuzzi, all right? It's part of the original plans. They didn't add it 10 seconds later. They added it. All right, there's a wall here. Yes, I've seen the video. Appreciate it. Hurricane video with this wall falling down. It appears to be more from the video, more out here that they show it. Where clearly our parking garage is back here, so all I would do is be giving you a biased video, which I don't do. I don't like that. Again, this is the structure. They come out. This is this balcony, if you will. The mama bear goes into there, and he observes the cars butterflying down here, including the pool deck. This is the apartment D. Okay, that doesn't help me too much. Let's go back to that one. Again, here's it in line. Now the beams are in line here. This is the other, I don't know, gymnasium or something, gym, workout room. I'm not quite up. There's the penthouse floor. Not quite up to speed with the gym weight and all that. You could put the gym weight floors loading on there. I'm not looking for pixie dust. I'm looking for the real thing that would tug on a damn wall. I'm looking for the data that says the floor collapsed, the porch collapsed first. I'm not looking for an internal column failure because we just don't. Oh, okay. Comment. We just don't have that so simply. Interesting. We do have, like the building when it starts collapsing, this direction. But here's I think this is about the column that I'm roughly on. So that will put that column, wrong face. Shit. I was looking for the south elevation. This is Collins, north, east, south. So that puts that, right, they do an overlay thing, drives me crazy. Somewhere about, they'll come out this door, glass doors, whatever. Somewhere about here, the person stands and views, looking back towards you, as you would look at them if you were standing on the deck. This would be the plane of the deck. You'd be looking at almost eye level with them. They would be elevated a little bit on top of this porch. Wall and pool deck at 15 elevations. Wall, I think it might says parging deck plus 15. Yeah. That's elevations, but I can't make out exactly. There's 1210. Okay. Here's 1210. That's the elevation there. The deck is basement floor is 2 plus 2 plus 2.2. That's the benchmark. We won't bother with that. I already did that in another video for you explaining how that works. That's the bottom of the ramp. Moving down. Come on. Where are you? Apartments. I want to get a little more detail on that. Detail elevation. I think that might have been my best shot there. 52. Felt like it was page 84. I won't drag us through that much, I think. Okay. Back here. Here's our pool deck. First floor plan. Undated. Sheet 13 of 30. There's your planters. 3'6" wide, planters, planters, planters. Parking, 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 parking. No parking behind this column, but parking here and parking on this side. Parking, parking, parking. Here's our shear plane right here. Here's our center line of column. Stone veneer is stucco there now. It's not stone veneered over the time. That maybe that changed, or maybe pricing changed it. It was a very small piece, a knee wall, like less than 2 feet in height, if you remember the glass window. All right, let's bounce. Let's bounce out of this. Oh, okay, here we go. Back to columns again. Pool, person's living room, floor 13. Right, there's the floor elevations. There's the pool deck elevation being the same. Person observes from there. It collapsed. The mama bear. Mama bear gives the story. Where's mama bear? Mama bear. Is it my shark ones? This is it.
In all the heartache here, for all the questions
that's
that
the
they
one that
never
someone
have
sent me a link.
answers.
Thank you for sending me the link on this one. It was last night. I was pretty tired, but someone sent it back about 10 minutes after I loaded up that video.
Everything we've yet to learn. There is this, and we couldn't be happier to bring it to you. A mother and her 2 children are safe tonight, and they might not have been.
Now, I read the comments. A couple of you said that, Tom, I think you're one of them, said that she mentioned about the floor vibration, the floor coming from the floor. This is kind of live, not real. I don't know. This is the same night, but it's posted June 30th, so apparently they held on to this for a minute.
Sarah Neer was at home not long before the tower fell, like seconds before the tower fell.
It's the shower girl who was taking a shower, Mama Bear.
Along with
and yes, so this verifies that the boy does got a little bit of freeze in him, including the girl. But Mama Bear is like, let's skedaddle.
Daughter Hani, one of the 2 children who were there. Thank you both so much for being with us. Sarah, I want people to understand how close this really was. It was late, or early in the morning, 12:30, 12:40 in the morning. You were doing emails, and then you heard a sound. What happened?
Exactly. I just came from a party, like spiritual party it was, and it was 12:30, and it was a little bit noisy. My son and my daughter been around me, so I didn't pay attention to the surrounding. It was
my son and my daughter's been there all day, so I didn't pay attention to surroundings.
So about 12:45, she went to take a shower, and my son was busy. So suddenly it was quiet. I was sitting and checking my emails and my messages.
So it says 12:45. Oh, wait a minute. I got to go back. 10 seconds. Oh, that's 5. 10.
Surrounding. It was... So about 12:45, she...
Okay, 12:45. So we moved 12:30 to 12:45.
Went to take a shower, and my son was busy. So suddenly it was quiet.
She went to take a shower. She takes a shower secondarily, I believe. Okay, so 12:45.
I was sitting and checking my emails and my messages, and then I start to hear knocking sounds. Knock, knock, knock here and knock, knock. And I said, okay, somebody probably hanging pictures on the wall. And
knocking sounds. Somebody's probably hanging pictures on the walls. So she's hearing rebar probably breaking apart in its grip force inside the concrete. And that's into where she's in the room with air conditioning on perhaps, and her location. She doesn't say yet that she feels any vibration in her feet. Does not say that. That would be the floor, right?
And then it was more intense. I said, oh, probably they're doing some small renovation. And then suddenly around 1:10, I hear like...
So that's 12:45. She starts hearing the cracking. Around 1:10, now we're talking, 25 minutes later, she can't take it. Wait a minute. 12:45, she got in the shower. Back that up.
Messages. And then so about 12:45, she went to take a shower, and my son was busy. So suddenly it was quiet. I was sitting and checking my emails and my messages surrounding. It was... So about 12:45, Exactly. I just came from a party, like spiritual party was, and it was
So think about this. This is her timing. So other people in that building didn't observe what she observed, obviously, because she was one of the first ones to actually come out and complain, apparently.
12:30, and it was a little bit noisy. My son and my daughter been around me, so I
But they've been all day. Her son and daughter didn't complain yet. But they don't seem like complainers.
didn't pay attention to the surrounding. It was so about 12:45. She went to take a shower.
So she went to take a shower. Not her. She went to take a shower. She says.
The surrounding. It was so about 12:45. She went to take a shower, and my son was busy. So suddenly it was quiet. I was sitting and checking my emails and my messages.
Okay, so while she's taking a shower, the son is doing whatever he's doing, Betty Crocker, making pies. So now it becomes quiet. I get it now. So now it's a quiet environment. She's checking her emails.
And then I start to hear knocking sounds. Knock, knock, knock here and knock, knock. And I said, okay, somebody probably hanging pictures on the wall. And then it was more intense. And I said, oh, probably they're doing some small renovation.
Then it became more intense. So more failures progressing now. The rebar is ripping and tearing, and it's making it back the way to her. Remember, she is sitting on top of BMA. She's here. This is their apartment right here. It's my drawing from the other day. There's a BMA, so she's in here somewhere. And a BMA is giving her direct feedback as this is cracking and getting ready to puncture her. It's pulling directly, giving her direct feedback via this column here, I believe, which is now, is that G? I forget. Or I don't think it's this one will be her direct feedback. I think this is going to be her direct one-to-one feedback.
And then suddenly around 1:10, I hear like a smash. The wall is collapsing. The wall above me.
Make this notice she feels like the wall above her is collapsing. So how do you get that? I know you guys said the floor, but how do you get that? Well, because BMA is tugging on this. Now she didn't say that she feels like above her the wall is collapsing. So it could be a little bias on her part too, but we could still get that tugging as this is pulling on this column. And because remember, we got earthquake action. People are making phone calls, 6-minute phone calls, or whatever it may be, to their loved ones, saying there's an earthquake going on. And then during one part of the conversation, I believe the lady on the 6th floor, everyone considers her the model, the attractive model. I believe she tells her husband, right? It's like an earthquake or something like that. And I just like she's describing she's describing that the pool's just caved in. So apparently she's paralleling that the shaking, the earthquake happened. That's all from here, pulling on BMA, pulling on this column here. We got a lady getting up at one of the floors, I forget which one, goes out to close the sliding door. She then, this is from Tom, she sees that she can put about 2 fingers in a crack of the wall, in the columns up at her house, or the property. So she exits the building. She's like, I'm out of here. She takes off, right? She only makes it down to so many floors before the collapse. But she realizes that's not right, the gap. So I'm saying that gap was created because this is a one-to-one relationship. You pull on this ½ inch, you're pulling on the base of that. You pull on the base of that, you're bowing out the wall. So open with preview. Right, okay, I can do this. So I can do this. And pencil. And yeah, let's do this. Let's just make one column. Let's just straighten up. And then let's make another column. Straighten up. Let's make the deck. Let's put the deck here. Now, oh, wait a minute. Scratch that. Scratch that. Move this. So here's our deck. And let's put her floor in here. This is the lady's floor. And little nightstand, computer, doing it. She's typing. That's her typing. Kids in there showering, so we got a shower going on, right? Shower head. And above her, floor, and she feels like they're doing banging above her now. Not for free. You move this one here. We move this one a little bit, right? I'm sorry. That's why I did it. Oh, should have let me grab a piece. So I grab this. I pull it in a little bit here. Will it let me move it this way? Nope. Can I rotate it? Nope. So if I move this deck just a little bit, let's just move it in just a little bit. This also moves a little bit out. And as you see what happened there right here, I lose my connection to the floor. It pulls out just a little bit. But say it rebounds, like that before it, because you got 6 minutes. It rebounds. So the concrete, as the deck is failing, it settles. As this is failing, it comes to a stop, right? It doesn't just go all the way through and fail all in one shot. It partially fails. The rebar regrabs. It finds equilibrium again with the rebar, holding it. She comes out of her room, la 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 la, to the lobby. Yo, man, what's up? I don't know. Whatever. She then gonna leave the lobby. I think come this way. I've heard. See her kids frozen. F for frozen. She sees them I can't do an F. She sees them frozen. She says, "Let's get the fuck out of here." They come back to the lobby, trying to exit. Right? They come back to the lobby, trying to exit. Yo, call 911. Yo, I'm new to this job. I'm just security. I'm frozen myself. What's the address? She tells her son, give him the address. We're out of here. So they're out. They exit the front of the building. I don't know if it's that way or not. They skedaddle. I guess he then, after he gives the address to the guy, writes it down. I guess he skedaddles. He makes a 911 call, which we don't know the date on that, right? Makes a 911 call, and as someone's reported in my comments, you can actually hear the building collapse in the background as he's reporting it in his stoic way that he communicates. So we get this tugging. This would be the beam, this BMA, right? It's right here. It's a monolithic pour. It's like that. It's tugging. Why is it tugging? Well, let's look at it this capacity. Let's look at it long. And in this line here, let's move this over, is where I think my bias is. This line, see the blue line? So let's do that. So that's my bias line. Is doing this as the cars are going down. It's doing that. So we need a car. Let's do, if I can do a car here. All right, you can put, it needs some wheels, right? You guys do the wheel thing. We're going to say it's a convertible. Anyway, so it does the tugging. The cars go there. This pulls away from the wall, and we get this falling down together, including with the cars, as we know. Cars come down with it. Cars come down with it at the same time. They come to a rest, doing puncture. Columns out in the outside, right about here. This one's leaning in a bit because it doesn't have much fabric around it, if you will, concrete around it to be able to puncture. So it pulls it over a little bit. It pulls that one over there and one over here too. It gets pulled over too. Interesting, it gets pulled over. This one is my one that I have my secret data on. This one here is my secret data one. This one should have punctured around, right? Flower pots in a way. It's integral with, let's get that. I hope I don't mess up my images. Where are the, okay, there's someone saying edited. Right, BMA, okay, so yeah, so I wanted to I gave a lot of tips over in the comments. And Brian, I held you back on purpose because I think I wanted to show people that you came the closest. My man danced around it. I was giving him all types of tips, saying you're dancing right around it, meaning you're dancing on the floor. You're dancing on it. You got the top, your top hat. You're dancing on it. I was trying to tell him that it's the BMA. It's the BMA. Where, according to the daughter story, they left building via hallway to lobby. He was apparently in his unit long enough to see the cars go under and then the rest of the deck puncture. It was way into the garage. By that time, they left their unit. They could not have left via the balcony as the deck was already giving way. I would say the BMA's arrested the failure for a while. He's saying it slowed it down for a while before failing themselves due to overloading and then pulling the structure columns of the building itself. So following my tips and everything else, yes, the BMA. This is what I did with the comments over there, and my tips and all in the feed here where I talk about, my tips over here where I give you a bunch of stuff about, think about it, you're dancing around it. I give a bunch of, is it over here then in the comment section of your channel, the community. And I said, you're right there. I tell another guy, I said, excellent, excellent, excellent. When he said when I played dumb and I said, go look for Canada, BMA, the guy's a Canadian architect, go look for there. You had it, but then you moved over to the post-tension part, which is good. But you had it, and you didn't continue on that one. And so now I'm loading the video to sort of end it for you. Here it is, hybrid system of unbonded post-tension. Okay, so BMA is a bonded beam it's a monolithic beam. Let's see if I can find it for you. It's a monolithic beam. Hold on. The timber connection remains in the elastic range when the modified MBA is applied. All right, so I'm just trying to give you some tips to get there. All right, so you're close about the that's why I'm doing a video now, because I think I can just run with the guy being close enough, and that's good enough for me. So the the BMA is our connection with the failure here. Now it would be a pulling though, because I show you over here. Here's your MBA, your monolithic beam, right here, and then this structure sits on it. You get this collapsing, and you're pulling on this beam right here. Oh, that's what I was trying to find you the photograph of that one. You get it pulling on it, and you can see that this one shifted, but so did this one. Now take note, very noteworthy, puncture, 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 puncture. Well, not quite puncture on that one. I don't think we can see these. Puncturing shear around these, the column here, puncturing shear around here. This is on an angle. This one's on an angle. This one's on an angle. Flower pots are there. How do you get on an angle? You need to fracture it. And I wrote in one of my tips, if you guys find that, I said, kneecap. I said something like, wow, I gave a tip like kneecapping. And I wanted you to think that, oh, it's fractured at the bottom. It's fractured there. These are punching through, but we have this one on an angle and this one on an angle, but yet this one should have punctured also. But what's there? Of all things, a damn flower pot. So as it tries to puncture the flower pot, and that flower pot system with rebar and reinforcement probably helped hold up the structure for those few minutes before this finally buckled and made that. When the guy comes out and observes, he sees the butterfly, but this one, what is that damn image? You know what? I'm kind of tired, so let me just get you this image and data. I'll put this video up, but hopefully this will get you there. You start seeing that you're tugging on this, pulls away up here. If you pull away from up here, what happens to this floor? This floor goes like that. You can add the multiple floors at the top. No, I didn't go straight, did it? You can add the multiple floors. I think I straightened it that way. You can add the multiple floors at the top. And as you pull away from here, you get these guys separating. So let's go there. Let me tie them in. Let me tie them in for you. So we get the upper floors. Okay. So as you pull this away, you can now see that this pulls away. We get the upper floors pancaking down on the lower floors. Right? So they pancake. They now want to slide and pull this off. They pancake down. The back end reactions want to break free. They break free. They now want to start consolidating on top of the floors below. The weight is too much. It wants to break one floor after another as it comes down. These columns, you see them in the images. They're long. They're long and laying out. They're all ripped off with the floors ripped off away from them. That would be under Surfside, condo collapse images. And that's where you see the columns stripped away. So columns would be stripped away. Let's try this image. This would be a column. Yeah, there you go. So the floors are being stripped away there, stripped away off of the face of the columns, all the way down to, back practically to the first floor level. This is what he observes when it goes down. The column I'm referencing, there's that one on an angle here. This one punched through. You see it punched through right there. It's that one's on. Nope, that's the wall system. That one punched through. It's this one. Different camera angle. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Give me a second here. I was giving credit to her for finding it to me too. It's just Diane. She was trying to counter that one. There's Winky Man. There's a Wink-a-Lot. Surfside building. Maybe it's here. Let me show you. So bear with me. So that's straight punch here. Hold on. This one. This one's on an angle away. It didn't just punch. It's probably the one that helped slow it up. Everything else punched through straight up, right? It had the load fully around it, so it should be a clean punch. But it didn't. It had more engagement. There's the cinder block wall system that probably was part of this, that it just punched, just threw off onto the deck. But that cinder block wall system probably helped delay these cars from, and probably maybe a car below, but helped delay the, as it's like a strong back, if you will, the collapse. Interesting, when I talked to you about this over here, I said the deck shifted in. You see the numbers are still, see the numbers are not ground off. Remember I talked about that? It broke free, but this deck took a shift to the left, at the left of the camera here. And it took a shift forward of us. You see the railing? You see the corner of the railing? The railing was up here. This is way in front of this column. See how far we're in front of this column? This is a puncture area around here. Was over here at one point. So this deck, when it collapsed, it pulled this direction. That torque, I believe, transferred that column once that torque action happens. So first they see the pull, it pulls that way on a BMA. And then the torque action takes place. So first it pulls on this one. People make phone calls. They start skedaddling. This is the deck area here, right? So this deck area, and there's a column here, right there, right in the railing. So this deck area, let's see if I can do another overlay. This deck area, right by that column here, has a railing. That's a railing there. It does this. Let's see, I need another column, don't I? Where's another column? There's a column way back here. So I need to shift this over a little bit. Pull it back more. Oh no, there's a column right there. There it is. So I need to do that. And this one needs to extend out. The railing's out to there. So it pulls on this, and they skedaddle. During that skedaddle, we take up the video where we see what appears to be this column where the loads are consolidating towards this direction. And I think as it tugged on this one somehow managed to beat it out and collapsing. And in the failure, this one buckled first. This one said, you know what, I'm throwing in the towel first. All right, this one gave in first. Maybe the span of the garage, and there was no other connections to it. But this, let me put a connection between these two. So as this triangulated, pulled this way, and pulled, it tugged on the deck, being connected with the deck. Out of all of these, maybe this sheared free after it tugged initially. It pulled on this guy. This is so it's back to my bias because we do have the data that shows it going down that on an angle like this, on an angle like that, and then down a column. It looks more like this, and then it at about 3 floors, and then all of a sudden it seems to catch up and collapse in this capacity. That this one being this one, my bias M. This one, if it did that, everything would consolidate like this. We don't see that consolidation like that in the first section of collapse. It looks more like this, and then a rollover, and then a direction downwards, right? We don't see this one going, and then these two coming in. Hopefully, I didn't confuse you too much. I'm going to load this video up, and you know, remember, it takes me a while to refine this, especially trying to explain it. But if you go over it a couple times, perhaps, and add the other data, the other images and videos in your mind, then you'll start catching on how all this interacts. But if you're just jumping into this video, you really got to start from the beginning. You got to hit the beginning at it. Video number 2 up, number 2 forward, because once I think I came up with a deck ledger collapse in my mind. The second video. First video was just loading up for you guys, live data running on it, you know, just sharing with you. And then by the second video, I think I already made up my mind that I think this is a deck ledger collapse. Then I started doing videos to get you there. Then I did a video stating deck ledger collapse. And then I just still collecting data. And now we have a deck, and then we find where our action point is, I think is over here. Again, that's a shift. See the railing? Shift over. You can see it push over this way a little bit, and some buckling of the materials there. So this pulled this direction. Oops, pulling this direction. Interesting. The column. This column is. Fuck. This column couldn't do any better for an indicator of saying what I'm telling you, how it pulled that direction. And then this one, decking, pulling this direction. They both meet. They are meeting in line with the BMAs, which is amazing, right? So that puts it more BMA right there, the G column. But again, the video content does show that it was like this on the top floors. You look at this building, it was more the top floors coming towards this column, and then it changed directions and came all the way down equally. All right, hope this works, guys. Help you understand. Now remember grinding. Remember I showed you grinding of the columns. That matters. It shows you that some directional changes took place. The grinding of the numbers off shows you some pushing and pulling. What side didn't get pushing and pulling on it? You know, no numbers are removed over there. We went over that in other videos and that's you got to follow the content. We saw that the lack of control joints help control where it did not engulf the swimming pool. I talked about the tension on the backside of this and the rotation that took place. There the cars look like they're fully parked. There's part of the deck that's still left in place. Let's see. That's my puncture. There's my line saying they both felt they collapsed together. There is the pulling, the shifting backwards, because now we have this higher here. See, it's higher here. It's now stopped the rubbing. If this could have kept going, you would have seen the material removed, possibly scraping down the face of this. So this shows you when it dropped, it pulled backwards, and the column being stable. It gives us our element finite element model in real life, showing okay, what happens if it falls. And a finite element model might just say, okay, it falls free. In real life, it falls and there's other torque action pulling back from the structure that pulls it backwards, in fact, and you get this. but here, not to the right. You get a little bit there and more here. So this helps you with that torque action, your direction of your path. You see that's elevated on that side. So we see what's going on here and nothing on this side. It's just clean. So this shows you that there's a back and forth tugging action going between this side and that side, but not there. That it's a clean, down the middle butterfly. Right. All right, ending video. Again, ending video. I think your deceleration happened with these columns right here because of the planter and the BMAs. But you can see which way the BMAs failed by the composite beams and columns, that they failed in that direction towards the structure. Oh, towards the structure. So that would have us, so just so you know, so that would have us at that part of failure, tug of war would have us going in. Yeah, right. Would have it going inwards, and then that gives us your column lean like that. I'm exaggerating, of course. Your column leans of your BMAs. Take care. Bye.